Theresa. I know I'm like right here in front of you. This doesn't usually happen, but today I'm part of a mystery box group, I guess. A bunch of friends sent each other different things, and it was a mystery up until I saw who sent it to me. The person who sent me my box, unless you're coming from the playlist, you probably already know this, but Ellie from DIY From House to Home has sent me my box. I'm about to open it. Let's jump into the box. I actually have been sitting on this box, not sitting on it, obviously. I've been waiting for opening it for a while, so it's been waiting for me for a while. Once I get the box open and get her personal information out of the way, I'm going to tilt you down so that you can see as I see. Well, sort of. Obviously, it's recorded, but you know what I mean. All right. I'm going to tilt you down a little bit. Sorry, this is a weird angle for me because I am working on this whole room and I have a hair in my eyelash. I'm working on the whole room here, and my desk that I would be doing this at normally isn't really ready. It's kind of covered in everything right now. So hold on. All right. Let's get into the box. So we got some tissue paper. Oh, right. A little pad of paper. I'm not real sure what to do with this, but we'll figure out something, right? Let's see what I've got. I've got a cute little magnetic board. Now, this particular challenge has us using everything. So I don't know. I've got some ribbon with some little bits of cotton. That's cute. Some stickers, like little planner stickers, and a card. Let's see, it says, Theresa, here are some fun craft items. I can't wait to see what you create. Here's some treats too. Happy crafting. So I think that these little ones in the front part, at least in the beginning, maybe those are not supposed to be included. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can try to throw them in there. You never know. All right. So I've got this pillow cover. Definitely screaming in the shabby chic direction. So that's, I believe, from the Dollar Tree is what it looks like. A straw veil. Obviously, this was from the fall. That's all right. We'll figure out something. Oh, some wood pieces. Those are always good. So we've got this square wood piece. Another wood piece is kind of ovalish with a little, it's like a plaque. Okay. Some stickers. Some pretty floral stickers. So let's see what else. A fish. So, oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard. Some little mini clothespins. A little bag with, what are you doing to me, Ellie? A little bag with snowflakes on it. Okay, snowflakes. A little easel thing, that's really cute. And some eucalyptus potpourri. There's a really big, pretty flower right there, though, at least. So there's definitely some useful things. All right, that is all. So that is going to be a really interesting bunch of projects. Oh my gosh. I can't get over this. Snowflakes, Ellie. Really? It's spring. So let's jump into our first DIY. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get started with this lovely pillowcase. This thing was the hardest thing to work with. And I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, that's not bad. You know, it's got a pretty pattern on it. It's a little gold, but it's got a pretty pattern. So I Mod Podged it to this wood plaque, and then I thought I was going to get away with not having to Mod Podge the top first, but that sucker just kept moving around all the time. I kept trying to do, like, you know, roll it down. So I then Mod Podged the top of it. And then I tried to do a little bit of the sanding block to, you know, take off all the excess like you would if it was paper or, you know, any other fabric known to man. And that did not work. So here I am cutting it with some scissors. I'm getting as closely as I can. The sanding block did kind of give me like a little spot to go at. And then I was cutting kind of at an angle a little bit to try and really get as close as possible. And then I tried to clean it up a little bit with the sanding block. And then I'm going to try to clean that up a little bit with some fire because Who doesn't think fire fixes everything? Not really. I'm just joking, guys. A lot of this is going to be silly, jokey stuff today. Now I have this mold from Prima Redesign. Now, obviously, it is typically meant for some kind of like mixed media kind of thing, clay, something like that. But I'm filling it up with some hot glue because please don't take anything I say seriously today. The dumpster fire that I'm about to make does not need real clay put on it. So we're doing it in hot glue. It's going to work out just fine though. It's okay. So I do a couple of little butterflies with some hot glue, and then I try to trim it up with some scissors, and then I'm going to take the hot end of my glue gun and start to kind of like not sand it down. If it was clay, you could totally use a little sandpaper and it would be perfectly fine. That's not really going to work with hot glue. I tried, it did not work. And instead, I'm going to use the tip of the hot glue gun. I'm sorry, I'm kind of a little out of frame on this one, but you get the basic idea of it. And then you know what's going to happen. Antique wax to the rescue. So I'm going to try and do a little bit all around the edge and decide that method isn't working for me. So I'm going to take a cloth and I'm basically going to just put that all around the edge of this plaque. And then I did not like it. So I painted over that with a little bit of this milk jug paint. And then I was like, well, now it looks kind of weird in contrast to the gold fabric. So then I'm going to take a little bit of the paint and I'm kind of watered it down a little bit. You didn't see me do it, but I did a little spritz of water. And then I'm going to go over that gold fabric. I was really hoping that I would kind of like maintain at least a little bit of the pattern, but at this point it has mostly been, completely covered. If I didn't have a Mod Podge on the top, I'm fairly convinced that it would have been okay, but it's okay. We're making it work, right? That is kind of how these mystery boxes go for me, at least, is you just kind of have to make them work for you. It has been about a year since the mystery box has been done, and when my dear friend Tammy asked if I wanted to do one, I was like, oh yeah, sure. Obviously it took me a year to forget how much fun they are. Not. Then I'm going to take some antique wax and kind of blend it all in, and I am taking this as an attempt to try and get some of that little bit of the pattern back from the fabric so that you can kind of see that it's there, and it doesn't look like I just covered the wood with it and then painted it within a inch of its life, which it does. Because I did. And then of course, Mod Podge, not Mod Podge, oh my goodness, antique wax all around the outside perimeter of it. And now that I got my beautiful little butterflies all ready to go, I did a coat of that same milk jug paint, and now I'm just going to go over it pretty heavily with some of this gold paint. I don't know why I can't think of the name of it. It's a folk art paint anyways, that I am just going to give it just a really pretty like gold look to it. I've got a little piece of that fishtail. So that's the fish. I'm not going to lie to you. That is the second fish. I had a fish in my collection and I had to use it because I tried to make something else with the fish to begin with, and then had to go into my stash and replace that fish with another fish. That's not against the rules, right? It's still the same item, so it does count. In my mind, it does at least. And now I'm going to use a couple of these little micro mini clothespin things, and I'm going to use that to kind of make this like three-dimensional feeling here. I'm going to zoom you in just in case you want to see all of the details here. I'm going to take the fish's tail and put it on the behind the butterfly. That is, I've decided that is my secret to these videos. If you don't know what to do with it and to put things together in a logical manner, just use bits and pieces of it. Tear it apart. Make it a completely new item, I guess, right? It's in there. It counts. It wasn't so much that the items all like by themselves were a problem as much as it's like all of the items are all in one box, and that's the challenge, is that you have to use all of the items. So that's kind of the challenge that I had, at least, was a lot of my items, while they were perfectly fine by themselves or alone, but when you're like, you must use every single one of them, that makes it a lot harder. You think about that when you guys have all those things together to make, when I try to make videos, I try to make things in kind of more of a, like a vignette, a bunch of items that kind of go together, that make a theme. it was really hard to do. So that's why the fish has been disassembled. All right, so I've gotten all those little pieces all attached to my plaque, and I was originally going to try to use that fabric to make a bow. That did not happen. It wasn't happening. So I went into my stash and pulled out a bit of lace and made this really pretty bow, and then I decided it was definitely too long, so I'm going to just trim off some of the edges, some of the tails. And by the way, I think I was yabbering on about something else, and I did use that little flower that's on there from the potpourri. I'm going to use the potpourri in another way too in just a minute. So I'm just going to arrange my bow, add some hot glue, and then it will almost be done. However, I was like, wait, there's more. I can use the back of the fish as a little stand. So I filled in all of his little opening and grooves, like where the scales meet, if there were scales, I don't know. And I'm going to add way more hot glue than probably needed. And I'm going to start kind of constructing that into a stand. I make the determination that him alone is not enough. I end up grabbing a couple of little popsicle sticks to try and make a little bit more of a, actual stand that will support some of the weight of this creation. I don't even know what to call it, but creation works, right? That's a word for it. You guys will have to let me know as I'm finishing this project up. What would you have done? What types of things do you think would have been a logical manner of putting these items together, or did I do a decent job of it? Positive comments only. I'm just kidding. You guys can tell me what you think. So like I said, I'm going to end up putting like a little popsicle stick in there to kind of give it a little bit of extra something to hold it all together. And definitely watch the end of the video. I have a little funny video on this little fish guy. But here's how it turned out. It looks pretty nice, I think, especially if you can't see the back. So that'll go, somewhere. So like I said, today is part of this mystery box challenge, and it is hosted by Tammy from Happiness Created. She is such a dear, sweet friend that I have met here on YouTube. Definitely go check out her channel if you don't know who I'm talking about, because she does a lot of really gorgeous things, a very similar styling that I do. So you're going to love her. And definitely check her out. Her channel's listed for you below. And make sure you're checking my description box, because it's going to kind of point you into the direction for all of these videos today. Now on to the next one. I'm going to take this square, it's kind of like a coaster-ish kind of thing. It's a piece of wood. I did just one quick coat of that same milk jug paint, and then I'm going in with some antique wax. And I'm going to then start to assemble a little bird's nest. It just kind of came to me out of nowhere, and I was like, that is perfect. Bird's nest, super springy. I have these little grapevine wreaths that I think I got from Hobby Lobby around Christmas time, probably not even like last year that just passed, but the year before that. These things just kind of sit in my craft room and just wait for the opportunity, and again, they finally get used. I'm going to stack 2 of them though, with a very heavy amount of hot glue. I swear, I think I went probably 3 or 4 weeks with using absolutely no hot glue. Well, in this video, I have definitely made up for my lack of use of hot glue. This video, I have used several weeks worth, I think. And then I'm going to take the bale of hay. Yeah, that's right, Ellie, a bale of hay for spring. But that's okay. I figured it out. I'm going to take the bale of hay, and I'm going to fill in, though, just so I don't have to use so much of the hay, I'm going to fill in just a little piece of some just brown shipping paper. Some spray adhesive from the Dollar Tree. I'll put in a couple of bits of the hay and just kind of go back and forth between that and the spray adhesive to try and make it to where it doesn't go absolutely everywhere, which it already did. But anyway, so there we go. We've got my little nest, and I'm going to take out that little bag of potpourri again, and I've got a couple little pieces, I guess they're like nuts or something, I don't know. I decide, you know what, those might be eggs. In this instance, they're eggs. So I paint them in that milk jug paint, and then I'm going to use a little candlestick that I have from the Dollar Tree. I'm actually going to use it upside down. I've already painted it and added some of the antique wax, and here it is, my little pedestal stand for my little nest. Pretty cute, pretty cute. At least I think so. All right, on to our last project. I've got this little easel, and again, same color, milk jug paint, and this bag with snowflakes on it. Yep, snowflakes. You know, before I opened this box, I thought Ellie and I were friends. I thought we, you know, had a similar style as well. And she gives me a bag with snowflakes on it. So how am I supposed to think about that? So I am just going to tear it completely apart. And I was like, well, you can kind of not see the snowflakes entirely off of like the inside of it. But I do end up just kind of taking all of these little bits and pieces apart, and I am going to then paint it, which doesn't go well, FYI. This thing is like when I was painting it, it sucks up the paint and it took forever to dry. But I ended up doing just one side of one of the bags, and I probably really should have done this side of the bag as well, but I didn't. It's okay. It is what it is. Then I'm going to start hot gluing it together, kind of like the outside to the outside, if that makes some sense to you. I think that kind of makes a little bit of sense. Is that what you would call the outside of a bag? Obviously. And then I'm going to fold down that other side. You know, coming to think of it, I probably could have done something like a black. If I painted it black, it would have most definitely covered up those black snowflakes, but I didn't have anything else in my, you know, whole theme that was black, so I went with the white. Coming to think of it again, though, definitely should have done brown or black. Again, if you guys think of something, let me know. Is there a better way to cover up those little snowflakes, or like, what would you have done? That's kind of like the theme of this video today is what would you do? I'm taking some scrapbook paper and I'm just going to trim it down to little squares. They are definitely not all the same size either. I tried to get as close as I could. It was just going to have to be as good as it was going to get, I guess. Then I have my little easel. I have my little sack there, and I'm going to hot glue that little sack now onto the easel. This is going to be kind of like, I don't know, like a little backing for it, I think. So I'll add some hot glue onto the backing of it as well, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, because you never know with these things. The hot glue could decide it does not like the burlap. Then I'm going to take a little mini clothespin, put it up at the top. You could totally use something like this for pictures, but I am going to do it as almost like a little decoration that you can switch things out of. Speaking of, I have another quick change challenge coming up very soon. Keep an eye out on my community tab. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not. That is where everybody in the playlist actually makes items that can be swapped out. Different seasons or different holidays, different decor styles. It's a lot of different things. It's a lot of fun if you like that kind of thing. It's a very good for those who try to save some space. I would love to be able to save some space, but I seem to keep making things. So here's how it ended up. I ended up using the little stickers from the box, as you could see. So I hope you guys had a good time today. Didn't take anything I said too seriously, because these videos are really just meant for a lot of fun. And I hope if you're new here, you will consider subscribing. Don't forget to check out the playlist and Tammy's channel, and I will see you next time.